Hello, Rob from Fountain Pen Journey with a review of the Platinum Plaisir Nova Orange fountain pen. Now, Platinum Plaisir is a step up from some of Platinum's other cheap fountain pens, which I've got to admit, I mean, in the UK we don't have a lot of access to Japanese fountain pens in general. Things like the preppy stuff like that. There's very few retailers which do stock them. So when you do find a retailer that stocks Platinum fountain pens, such as Cult Pens, where this pen came from, or Pure Pens here in the UK, both of those do stock some Japanese fountain pens, especially of these cheaper varieties. Now, the Platinum Plaisir, it's an all-metal fountain pen, but it's a light one. It is not heavy, so do bear that one in mind. It's an average size fountain pen, reasonably girthy. It's attractive, available in a range of different colours, and also range of different nib sizes, nib widths. So you do get some options, thankfully, which is really good to know. So let's start off by having a look at the Platinum Plaisir in Nova Orange, and as you can see, it is very cigar shaped. It's got this very sort of rounded design, all metal. The Nova Orange colour is a metallic, what I would call more of a rust orange, burnt orange perhaps. It's not a red orange, it's not a bright orange. It definitely looks rather more of a sort of burnt, darker orange, which is, I think, quite nice. And the silver accents on the fountain pen really do contrast quite well. Like I said, all metal fountain pen, but it is very lightweight. I mean, in honesty, I think you may at first, without picking it up sort of and handling it too much, you may actually think, hang on, is this plastic? But it isn't, it is metal. So let's have a look at the pen. I mean, these domed ends are really quite rounded, and it's a nice looking fountain pen. I do think it actually has some design elements which are a little bit unique. It's plain, but it's different. Hard to explain, but I think if you know what cigar-shaped fountain pens look like, then I think you can probably understand what I'm trying to get at. The clip. Now this clip, it is almost sort of arched with like a concave bit in the middle and two ridges on either side. It is a little bit sharp on the corners, not rough sharp, badly finished sharp, just a little bit. It's got four corners which are, you can feel them. It's not terrible, but you can feel them. And the clip is pretty stiff. It's not the most springy of clips, but it slides on and off things easily. On here we have the cap band with the writing and engraving that you can see there, Platinum Japan. And it's a nice wide cap band. It extends to the bottom of the cap, which pulls off, just unclips. There is, you can't see it in there, but there is the slip and seal mechanism to stop the ink drying out in the nib, so you can leave this pen capped and unused for a very long time, and Platinum says that the pen will still write. I haven't tested that, but certainly I've not written with this pen for maybe a week or more, and it started up writing first time every time, so credit to Platinum for that. Steel nib. This is a medium winged Platinum nib with a black plastic feed, no fins, straight translucent section. like you see in the Platinum Profound and other fountain pens. So nothing really exciting. It does the job. It's quite a long section, so you do get plenty of space, and there's no indentations or anything like that. It is a little bit on the slippery side, perhaps. It is plastic, so maybe not as slippery as metal, and there is a step up here to the to where the barrel is, but that's quite a distance up, and it's not particularly sharp, but I would be holding it below there anyway. Barrel understandably unscrews, and of course, this being a platinum pen, it takes platinum ink cartridges and converters. I'll talk about the cartridges when I get onto the writing sample. As you can see, metal. So you've got metal threads onto the plastic threads of the section. Size-wise, it's comfortable. There's enough length in the section for you to be able to hold it fairly high up and it still be usable, or low down. And I mean, when I'm holding this pen, hold it about there, and it's a good enough size. Plenty of size there. Really, really good from that point of view. Posting is deep, really deep. And I'll just turn that around a bit. It's deep, really secure, and it doesn't, because it is so deep. I'll try and do this over the camera. I mean, that is quite a distance, so there is no back weighting with the cap whatsoever. This is a very, very good pen to write with posted, because it is such a deep posting cap, and it's secure. You don't have to force it on there, it just kind of sits there and holds itself in position. So it's very, very well made from that point of view. So it's a nice, good size fountain pen when posted. But unposted, still perfectly usable, and I'm happy using this pen unposted. It's quite a secure clicking mechanism, but it's easy to uncap. So there's the Nova Orange. So let's see how this pen actually writes. Get my, as it would have it, orange pad. There we go. Very nice shot. And just get the next page ready. Here we go. Oops. So Platinum Plaisir Nova Orange medium nib, medium steel nib, just point out again. My wife bought me this as a Christmas present in 2020, so I've been using it ever since then, and I've really enjoyed writing with it, as we shall see. As far as wetness goes, I'd say it's medium wetness. Bear in mind when it says it comes with a medium nib, it's a medium Japanese nib, so it is a little bit finer than you would expect a Western medium nib to write. But I'm quite happy with that. I think that's, you know, it's not a fine, which is a good thing in my view. It writes very, very well. The cartridge is simply the cartridge that this pen is supplied with, and it lays down the ink well enough. However, going back to that thing I said about the cartridge earlier, sometimes when I've been writing with this pen for several lines on, say, an A4 pad, the ink flow doesn't stop but I can sense that the ink flow isn't as good as when I first started writing. And when I unscrew this barrel, I'll just try to show you. I mean, you can see that, come on, focus. In fact, you probably hear it better. I'll hold this up to the microphone. There is typical of Platinum's ink cartridges, there is a very large steel ball bearing inside their cartridges, and that's supposed to break up the ink flow and make sure that the ink just carries on flowing even when there's a bit of ink at the back and stuff like that. And I have a suspicion that that ball, because it is so big and it is actually quite heavy, you can feel it when it lands at the bottom of the thing, the section. And there is supposed to be in the section a thing which juts up, pierces the ink cartridge and goes into the ink cartridge, and the ball sits on top of that and the ink flows around it. However, I do have a suspicion that it does somehow stifle the ink flow, because when I've used Platinum cartridges in the Platinum Pre-Fount, check out my review of that fountain pen. I'll stick a link in the description down below. The Platinum Pre-Fount, same thing. The ink flow just wasn't very good using the Platinum cartridges. So on the Pre-Fount, I tried eyedroppering them and never once had that problem ever again. They were really, really great to be used. I use those pens as eyedroppers. Really, really great experience. Can't do that with this being a metal pen, because that will cause all sorts of corrosion issues potentially. So you are stuck with either the converter or the Platinum cartridges, which I'm sure there's something about the ball bearing in the cartridges causing some sort of ink flow problem. And I do not believe that this is the pen, because it's the same nib feed section. I can see that the Platinum Pre-Fount has, and when that's eyedroppered, never have those ink flow minor issues. And it is a minor issue, it's nothing major. One thing that I do, and I have heard other people do occasionally, is after they've been writing a couple of lines, they simply rotate the pen like that, and it just breaks things up, lets more ink into the feed, so it carries on writing again. And as for the writing experience, remember, this is a cheap Japanese fountain pen. This is not an expensive Japanese fountain pen. It's a steel nib. What do I think of the writing experience? Absolutely smooth and effortless. Really, really great. Excellent writing experience from these Platinum nibs. I'd say it's very consistent. I've used other Platinum nibs and they are very, very well made with exceptionally good tolerances. So even though they're mass produced, it's not like Lamy. I mean, I love Lamy fountain pens and Lamy Safari nibs, that range of winged nibs, which are, I suppose, in some ways quite similar to this winged nib. They're a lot more inconsistent, whereas Platinum, they've got it nailed. They manufacture nibs which just work, and they're obviously, I don't even know if they're tested, but they just happen to work. They've got good manufacturing processes to make sure that their nibs do, from my own experience, write really well. I'll just do the reverse writing bit. Sorry if I'm banging the camera. Now I would say that this is now an extra fine, but the ink flow keeps up. It's not as smooth, but it's certainly by no means scratchy. I mean, I've written with an awful lot of fountain pens in reverse writing, and I know it's not how they're supposed to be written with, but this is great. Really, really great. It's not the smoothest reverse writing. I'll do the normal writing there so you can see the difference between the widths. it's an exceptionally great pen for the price. I mean, it is a metal pen. I would not subject this pen to a great deal of, you know, heavy wear and tear, and I have a feeling that this is the sort of metal which, if you stick it into the back of your jeans pocket and sit down on a hard surface and lean back or something, this could dent, it could bend. It's not that robust, but it's pretty good. I think for a metal pen, it's actually very good value. For a Japanese cheap fountain pen, it's excellent value. The writing experience, excellent. And one last thing that I really do have to say is it's incredibly tactile. I can't remember ever feeling anything so, I don't know, smooth. That's what I want to call it, smooth. It feels, it's not slippery, it just feels smooth. Whatever the material is that they've, I don't know, finished this in, lacquered it with, it feels glossy and smooth. That's all I can really say. It's hard to describe. You could have something that was slippery, you could have something that's smooth. This just feels really, really tactile. I mean, it's an absolute pleasure to run your hands over and feel. It's and it's smooth. It's not like there's a texture there. It's really, really smooth. Very nice finish. Very well made pen. So now we have the Platinum Plaisir Nova Orange with the medium nib. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye.